Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode on SAP UI 5. In the last episode, we have discussed about using the resource model with internationalization techniques and formatter concept. In today's class, I will first start quickly with the solution of the exercise of flipping model. Unfortunately, I'm not getting time these days to work on the exercises offline and upload it. Hence, I'm making use of some of early time of our today's session to fix this up. So I'm working on some concepts like Kubernetes, cloud connectors. We have container concept. We have Docker concept online. So with HANA Access Advanced, so a lot of these new concepts in the market, which you see are getting so much of hype. So this is what currently I'm working on. So hence, not able to get ample amount of time to work on exercises. So let's quickly look at the exercise. So solution of this exercise will also be available onto the blog, and the name of the project with which it will be available is JS View to XML View. This was created by Raji. So I've executed just now, uploaded this project and executed. She has mentioned that some of the part is not working. So let's have a look at it quickly, what is exactly working. So currently you can see some data is being displayed over here. And if I say flip model, it's flipping the model perfectly fine. That's very good. But only problem which I see is status. Marital status and smoker values are not being populated when I flip the model. So let's have a quick look at the flip model button code. What exactly she has done over there. So I straight away switch to the XML view controller and just come down to see here she has a method called flip model, and there are two models she is getting, and I guess the default model right now is the XML model what she has it set it up. And what she's doing on click of flip model is she is just checking it up, what exactly is the current model. She's getting the object of both the models into a local model object, local variable. Then she's getting the table object. She's also trying to get the checkbox and drop down object, I guess, to make them work properly, because right now they're not working. And then what she's doing is she's checking the path of the current model at the row level, and if the row is connected to slash row, which means it's an XML model, then she is just going ahead and changing the binding of the table at runtime with the JSON path. You remember in aggregation binding of JSON and XML model, we have different binding to be done, because in XML model we put an extra slash row, but however in the JSON model we don't need to. So she's changing that at runtime, and I think this code is what she's trying, but it's not working. Let me just remove this code for time being, just to make it a little clean, and just delete this guys. All these guys I'm deleting, and now see it looks very neat and clean. So just getting off model objects, getting off table objects, and then probably after getting all of them, just changing the binding based on the current binding. So what is the current binding? I'm flipping along with the models, I'm flipping the table binding also. Perfect. This is what I wanted to see, and she has done it perfectly. So this piece of code is changing aggregation binding for table, and below she's flipping the model, flipping the models at app level. This is what perfectly she has done, and it's all working fine. I just quickly refresh since it was some major change, and you can see it's working. But when it is coming to JSON model, you see the status and smoker is going away. Okay, both of them are going away. The reason why, what is happening? So let's go ahead and quickly check the JSON data, what she has it. And I guess this is the JSON data she has it. Yes, correct. And if I also come to XML model, look at my XML data. Perfect. So in this XML data, she has a statuses with which I think she's binding the drop down control. Okay, she's binding the drop down control. Let's look at our XML view to see how the binding of drop down is being done. So when it comes to the drop down control for marital status in the table control, you can see she has done a binding here with the drop down control with slash statuses slash record. So which means the drop down values are picked up from that path of XML. okay, XML. Now when you change it to JSON model, now this drop down becomes often. Drop down is not able to anymore find the records actually. Okay, so how do we solve this problem? So let's first of all define values into the JSON data. So you see there is no statuses in the JSON data. I think, yeah, here also let me check. There is, she has put it, but at runtime now we have to flip this path of the drop down also. Okay, we have to get the drop down object and flip the path for the drop down too. So let's do that. I come back now. First of all, I need to obtain the object of my drop down control. How can we do it? Let's quickly debug. Okay, let's quickly debug. So I come here and I press F12 and just quickly refresh, and you would see in a minute when I click on flip model, it hits my breakpoint. Now main challenge here is to get the object of the drop down cell. Okay, get the object of the drop down cell. That's our main challenge. The drop down column, actually you need to get an object of the drop down column so you can change its template binding at runtime. Okay, how can you do that? So you have already your table object, and columns are part of table object. So what you can do is you can say my table object dot get columns. That gives you the list of all the columns available in the table. Okay, so you see all the columns have come, and now you see the drop down column is 0 1 2 3 4, fourth position. So I say get column of 4, get me the column number 4, and that's my column number 4, guys, which is the status column. Okay, you can also make sure that it is truly the status column. You can see it has again some of the values. So maybe I can just check its binding, its properties, just to be make sure that this is actually a drop down. So I can just check it out, its template actually. So what template value it has it inside. So maybe quickly in a minute. So yes, you can see template clones. So there are 4 clones inside this, and you see the ID drop down over here. Okay, so this is actually the drop down control. Now what I'm just trying to see is, can I somehow get an access to the actually column
Hello,
object? So let me just create a O column object,
sorry for interrupt.
and then what I'll do is I've got now my column object over here. Now in this column object, let me see if I have a method to now change this binding. So bind aggregation, and what is that I'm going to bind is bind aggregation, and I want to change the binding of this column at runtime. So what is that is the binding I want to change? I want to change it with items of this drop down should be changed to the new path. Okay, items of this drop down should be changed to new path, and that new path is just slash status. I guess this is the correct spelling. Let me just go and check her JSON model. It is status slash status. So when it was earlier with XML, it was slash status slash record. But now I've got the column object, and I'm telling the column object that my items now should be picked up from slash status path, not from the slash status slash record path, because you know that you're now doing a JSON relevant binding. Press enter. Item does not exist in element. There is some problem. Okay, I got the problem. The problem is you cannot directly change at the column level. The column has something called a template. In that template, you have to go ahead and change it. So just say o column dot set template property must be there. Yes, this is the set template, and in this now I'm going to change it. So I'm going to create a new object of SAP UI commons dot, or I can just say get me the current template. Let me see, get me the current template. What is the current template control? You have it with you, and you see this is the drop down object, and now at this drop down object level you got to change this binding, guys. So that was I was doing incorrect. So I was changing at the column level, you got to change it at drop down level. And now let me just do that, enter. Oops, again some problem. It says missing template or factory function aggregation items. So I think there is bind aggregation. I'll just try to change it directly with bind items, guys. Let me see if there is a directly bind items, and then just give the path over here slash status. No, it's not working. So let's at least code this much and we will debug further. So first of all, we got the columns. So let's come back over here. And what we are doing is now we are going to change the binding of drop down at runtime, since we have to stick to JSON and XML paths. Okay. And now I'll just first get the columns. After getting the columns, I get the column number fifth column. So 0 to 4, fifth column. That gives me the column for my drop down. So that gives me my drop down column. Okay. So this is my drop down column. In this drop down column, I have inside a template, and that template is nothing but my drop down control itself. So I just tell the system that get me the template as well. So I say dot get me the template. So till here I have coded. So whenever you have a problem of this kind, you are not able to understand what's going on, break it down into pieces and then join these pieces and put it in your code. Save this. Let's come back and refresh, and now we'll again debug. So at least we have now column in our hand. Okay, we have our column in our hand. Whenever I click on flip model, it gets me my drop down column out of my table. And then it's just that I need to figure out how can I change its binding at runtime for that particular column. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'll just again click on button, and you can see it has got me my column. So it has got me my column, and inside the column it has got me my template also. So I just check it out, this O call, and you can see it is giving me my drop down object. And now you can see there are a lot of properties inside inside this. So maybe let me just quickly see. There is an items binding infos items, and you can see the path with which it is connected to is slash status slash record. Okay, so there is a path of the items aggregation, and it is connected to status of XML. Okay, now we got to change it. So I say let me try one more time, say bind items, and I got to change now this bind items to the new path. So I have to just quickly go ahead and use this curly braces, and inside this there are two things which we need to put whenever we are doing binding. We need to first put the path with which the binding should be done, record, sorry, status. And then second thing which we need to do is uh, template for binding this. So new sap.ui.core.items list item, it is curly braces, and inside this we have to put our binding. So it's a key property, text property, and that goes with the path of my relative path. She has put it in the JSON. So let's go to JSON, its value and key she has put. So let me just put key and value, and let me just press enter, and voila, at runtime now the path of this drop down is now connected to my JSON path. If I just continue, you can see my values ideally should have come. It didn't come. I think this code has to be put at the right place. That's why it's not coming. So let me just go back. So this column should only connect to the new binding once my table is correctly binded to my JSON. So after my table is connected to JSON, I am saying the drop down to point to the new path. So actually I called it at the wrong place. That's why it didn't work, I guess. So now you see this is the code which Raji was not unable to code. Because of this, her drop down values were not coming. Clear, everyone? So let's try this. So this is the change in binding of drop down at runtime. However, at the same time, if you also look at the same code should also go into the next one. When you do back to the XML model, now your path should be slash record with XML. So with XML, it should be slash record. With the JSON, it should be slash status. So let's be very sure that in here, you also have key value pair. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and now test it. How exactly will it work or not work? So I come back, refresh, and now I just say watch this status column. Earlier it was not working. Let me see if it works or not work. Refresh. You see it didn't work. There is some problem again. So only with the XML view currently, it is XML data, it is currently working. With the JSON data, it's not working. I guess there is some problem. We are missing something. We are missing something, guys, for sure. And what is that which we are missing? So bind items of this particular drop down. So here this will give me the drop down object, and I'm just saying bind it items. Template and new items are these items. I think this is should be item. Let me just try this. Not list item. No, it's not working. It's not working. There is some problem, guys. So here this piece of code is doing a rebinding with the path. Let me quickly debug once again. Let me quickly debug this once again. Refresh, press F12, flip the model, and let's see in the debugging what's happening. So I come down, press F10, 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 and now you see this is my column. Let's look at investigate the column in the console. And now if I just come down and see the path for the binding for this combo box control, where is this binding info? And you see current binding path is with the records. Okay, binding info items are currently connected to records, and template which we had used for binding was this. So now if I just run this particular line and see then the path, so I go back, re-evaluate my value and look at its binding info, you can see the binding info, it has changed to slash status, which means which is absolutely the right path with respect to JSON. Okay, with respect to JSON is the correct path, guys. Then there is something wrong, something we are not doing correctly. Let me be very sure what is the aggregation level. Will it be core item or what exactly it is? So for that, what we will do is quickly look at our XML view and see with what it has connected. So let's come down and marital status here, items, it's a list item type, guys. So with key and value property, so that was absolutely fine. Here this should be list item only. Why it's not working? There is something wrong, there is something which we are missing. So this is what we are doing, a change at runtime by providing a new path which is corresponding to the JSON, and then we are saying okay to this. Now maybe let me be very sure if she is having the right model connected, whatever JSON model she has used is right. Let me just check that out. So you can see she's creating JSON model. With which file she is creating this JSON model? Let me see in the models.json here, and you can see she is creating with JSON model.json file. If you come down JSON model.json file, it has statuses. That's correct. It's all correct. It's all correct. So models slash data slash JSON model.json, and my data, this is not relevant. So I think she has the data as well into it at the path level. Let me just try one more time. Refresh, come back, flip model, just press F10, F10 again, F10 again. And now let me see, guys, there is something which we are missing for sure, which is causing this behavior, which is causing this to not work. So by now you see table is connected to EMP tab, but data is not appearing. By now table is connected, but data is not appearing, which means The flipping of model, I guess we should do first before the table connects to the new binding. Okay, let me try that also. So the position of the code may also matter. Okay, model object has data actually in the debugger. See, she is flipping the model after the binding path changes. It should ideally not matter because for table it's working fine, but it may matter for drop down. Let me try that. So what I'll also do is I'll just go back. So those who have joined recently, what we are trying is, guys, we are just trying to complete an exercise of flipping model exercise uh, where I asked you to flip between XML and JSON model. So I just flip the model on the top and then I change the binding. Okay, guys, I flip the model first and then I'm changing the binding. And let me just come back, refresh and try one more time and just say flip model. Oops, it's not working. There's some problem. There is for sure some problem for our drop down control. It's not changing the binding path at runtime, because it has to now get the data from this new path which it is unable to so current path is this. It changes with the table, but for drop down control column it's not working. So what is that which we are missing? We are missing for sure something, guys. For sure we are missing something. At runtime I was able to change the path, but it was not okay. No problem. I'll do one thing. I'll park this doubt again, otherwise we'll not be able to complete our today's class. Let me work on it offline and I will get you the solution by tomorrow's class. Let's not waste further time on this particular one. I will get you the solution by tomorrow of as in why this binding is not working. So let's move on to today's topic. So let's start. Path is triple equals to, I didn't get what do you mean. No. Let me work on it, guys, offline. I don't think so that any of these at this point of time will work. Okay, let's come back to our main project, main agenda. So what I have given an exercise also to pass in two properties into the formatter and join them. Okay, it is very simple. Let me quickly show you solution for that first. So I'll just come back here and try here. So I wanted to now join both the employee first name and last name. And for that, it was very simple. We have added the mock data into our JSON file for employee first name and last name. Surname is the property name. So I will go back and I've got the solution from many of you. And I've seen that all of you have done it correctly. So I will now go back to our XML view. And here, instead of passing both the single value for employee name, we pass both values. Okay, so you see we are just passing e name, and I want to now pass both first name and last name. So I'll change the syntax a little bit. So I'll say parts colon an array this time, and inside this array we want to pass now two properties. So first property comma second property, and then we pass the path of both of them. So first we pass the path for employee name, and then we pass the path for last name, surname. Okay, so now you see there are two properties which are pumped in inside the formatter function. So both of these properties goes inside the formatter functions. So it goes like this: two arguments as a formatter function. Formatter will return one value which is then sent to the text property of this control. Clear, everyone? So let's achieve this. So for that I'll just change my function name. So I'll go to my lifesaver.js and write down a function quickly here, and I say join texts, and I'll say function, and it has two arguments. So I say x and y, two arguments it has. And then what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and put curly braces and say return x plus a blank and then plus y. That's it, guys. We are done. X and y I'm returning join text. Use this join text and put it over here as a formatter function. The job is done. Let's come back and refresh. You would see employee first name and last name is automatically concatenated at runtime. Wow. So this is all you can really do it, guys, with the help of formatter. Multiple arguments you can pass it into the formatter. Okay, but you see the binding here is done again with the with only the first name, hence you see only the data which is first name and in converted to capital letters. Same format or same feature you apply there also, it will work. Okay, so now next topic is SAP Fiori. What is SAP Fiori? We all being waiting for, we all being seeing, the applications which we are creating by far on UI Commons library. And you may be wondering, Anubhav, why are you using UI Common, which has been deprecated? Because, guys, to understand the basic concepts of UI Commons and understand the basic concepts of UI 5, and now you're ready to move to Fiori user experience. So what is Fiori? Why it's why what is the difference between Fiori and UI 5? There are a lot of myths in the market. We will break all of those myths. We will understand what exactly is Fiori. So what is SAP Fiori? SAP Fiori is SAP user experience guidelines. Okay, these are user experience guidelines. Okay, SAP Fiori is nothing about, it's all about user experience and the guidelines associated to user experience. Now, before we get into more detail, let's try to understand difference between user interface and user experience. Very interesting interview question which anybody can ask you anytime. What is the difference between user experience and user interface? I would say a very nice definition which is very simple. You can change the user interface, but you cannot change user experience. Okay, you can change the user interface, but you cannot change the user experience. Users will continue to use the application or the software the way they have been using, the way their mind asks them to use it. Okay, so UI and UX, there is a great debate happens all around the world. And you see, if you want to detail about the differences between UI and UX, there are a lot of interesting psychological details and differences between UX and UI. So you see, UX is interaction design, it's wireframe and prototypes. It's used by information architect, user research, scenarios. But interface is about visual design, colors, graphic design, layouts, typography. All these are user interface. What you giving to user to enable him to work with application. But user experience is a more complicated topic which comes under design thinking, wherein user how is user using it. Now this seems to be again little difficult for you to understand, but if you quickly look at this picture over here on the Google, you will realize the main advantage or main difference between user interface and user experience. So you can see there is a house over there, and there is a defined path, there is a design and a defined path to reach to that house. So this is the defined design. This is actually your user interface. This is what the design is. Okay, this is the user interface. However, though this is the design, this is the ideal paths one should take, but the person who is taking, you can see the person is taking this path, user experience. This is user experience. So he is been living into the house towards this path, but he's always following this path. And in fact, all the family members towards the house are following this path since they by birth. Okay, so they are used to this. This is the your user experience. And if you can somehow give him this user experience, he will be more than happy. He would love to use your software. Okay, so make it as easy as possible for him. Look at its convenience, look at its user experience, and that's what SAP Fiori is all about. So SAP Fiori is built on SAP UI5 framework. So this user experience what we are designing, so this UX is achieved by making use of SAP UI5 framework. Okay, this is what it is made up of. Now I'll say, Anubhav, you are saying that uh, SAP UI5 is actually SAP Fiori is more like a user experience guidelines. Where can I find these guidelines? where can I find the UX guidelines for SAP Fiori? So I can say Fiori design guideline. Okay, search for Fiori design guidelines, and you would get a nice website from SAP which talks about the Fiori design guidelines. So you would see it in a minute. Let me just Fiori design guidelines, and there you go. You would see the first one itself, Fiori design guideline. There is a huge amount of material available here. This is what typically used by a role called UX designer role. So what UX designer does is they will follow these guidelines, they will read through these guidelines, and they will try to understand how best can we achieve user experience. Okay, you see. So here now, if you go inside SAP Fiori on the right hand side, you would see the list of design guidelines which is available in SAP Fiori. So you can see explore result resources, and you can find all the details about all UI controls, how you should ideally place them, which area of the screen you should place them. All that is covered over here in these design guidelines. You can see all the controls: chart control, busy indicator, calendar control, lot of different variety of controls which we have in SAP M library and its subordinates. You can use any one of them and make a beautiful user experience screen. Clear? So Fiori is all about user experience guidelines provided by SAP. The base framework to create a Fiori application is still SAP UI5 framework, and SAP M library is what is used especially to create a Fiori user experience. What are all the other advantages of Fiori? Why Fiori? Advantages. So when somebody asks to you about Fiori advantages, you have a lot to tell. The first biggest advantage is it's responsive. Okay, anybody, what's the definition of responsive web design? Anyone? We have talked about it in our initial days. What is responsive? Anyone? What is responsive web design? Anybody?
Based off the device, the application will fit into like floating.
Absolutely right. So based on the design, it will adapt itself automatically. Now, another interesting point is if your manager comes to you and say, okay, good, nice, I'm hearing lot about Fiori. Can you demo me something? Can you show me how Fiori looks like? What is that you're talking is all relevant or not relevant? Okay, where will you demo him? Would you sit and code a Fiori app for demo him this user experience? No. SAP Fiori gives an opportunity to experience the Fiori directly online without any code. You can go to sapfioritrial.com. Yes, you can go there, sapfioritrial.com, and that's where you can experience SAP Fiori UX. So you can see it in action. It gives me quickly a consent form where I would say agree, and then it would load me up the list of features available in the system. So let me just click on this, and it's giving me a consent form. I say I agree, and now you would see, okay, it's currently not available. So what you will see, it you would see the list of Fiori applications available in the system. So currently there is some issue going on, I don't know why, but you would see the list of Fiori application being displayed. So maybe I just quickly show you uh, Fiori trial, some screenshots maybe. So I'll just go to images, and yes, you can see this is how it looks. And when you get into, you would see a screen like this is the kind of screen when you will go inside fioritrial.com, you would see a screen like this screen is called SAP Fiori Launchpad, guys. Okay, this is called SAP Fiori Launchpad. What is SAP Fiori Launchpad? It's a single access point for all Fiori applications. In conventional ABAP programming or WebDynPro programming, what you used to do, you used to create one transaction code per application, isn't it? VA01 for sales order, ME21N for purchase order, MM01 for material management. You used to create one transaction, and now user has to remember all these transactions, which makes it very complex for him to navigate, isn't it? So that was simplified with Fiori Launchpad. Fiori Launchpad, as the name suggests, it's a launchpad for all work what you need to do. It's a single access point for all the Fiori applications available in the system. Okay, this is another advantage of Fiori. So all the apps are available as a tiles. You can see these are all the apps like my calendar, employee lookup, timesheet. These are all the applications which are available in Fiori Launchpad as tiles. Okay, now another advantage it is role based. What is role based? When you are a manager, okay, when you are an employee, can you approve leave of your colleague? Is it possible that you're working in a team, you have a colleague who applied a leave, can you approve his leave or her leave? Not possible, because you are not the manager, you are just an employee. So Fiori Launchpad, what beautifully it does is it makes sure that the app which you're running or app which is displayed in the Launchpad, you have the right access roles assigned to you. If the roles are not assigned to you, you would not be able to even see the tile for approving the leave. And the moment role is assigned to you in the backend, you've been nominated as a manager, you would automatically see a leave approval application available on this. This is controlled by Fiori security concepts, which are covered in my advanced course. So I have already discussed in my advanced Fiori course how exactly you design this launchpad, how you put these tiles yourself, what is a business catalog, what is a technical catalog, what is a group, what is a role, how do you connect the role, back and front end roles, what is an administrator role, what is a user role, what is a launchpad role, all that detailed out in my advanced Fiori training, which may not be relevant for you because this is more like a basis work. But in companies these days, what happens, if you say you know Fiori, then they expect you to know everything. They expect, okay, you are everything. Okay, this is what people does. So many of my students come back to me saying, Anubhav, please teach us Fiori security, launchpad designing and stuff like that. So I have launched a completely dedicated course for those concepts, and that's what exactly my advanced course launchpad and theme designer is all about. Okay, so there are a lot of standard apps here. You can also deploy your custom apps in the launchpad. That's completely configurable using launchpad designer concept, which is covered in advanced training. But right now, don't think too much about it. Yeah, when the time comes, if you need it, then you buy that course, otherwise not required. Okay, at least you will learn end-to-end creation of custom Fiori applications in this course. So it's role based. Third advantage, it has capability to themes. So there are a lot of variety of themes available. You can quickly change the theme of the application, and then automatically system would adapt to that new theme. So you have SAP Bleeze theme, which is latest theme, starting version SAP 1.38 onwards, which was also known to be Fiori 2.0. And then you can just change the theme parameter, and then look and feel of entire app changes. The another advantage with this is it's cross. It works with all devices, all platforms, and all browsers. Okay, so all major browsers are supported, major platforms are supported like Android, Windows, or iOS. All devices are supported, be it a mobile, tablet, or a desktop device. So what used to happen when you are shopping on Amazon.com, so you have a nice website on for desktop, but however on the mobile device, have you ever tried opening Amazon or eBay on your mobile device, the website? What you get a bad user experience. It doesn't show you the products the way they should look like in a mobile. So what you do to actually see much better user experience of shopping when you want to use eBay or Amazon, anybody, what do you use to have a better user experience for Amazon shopping or eBay shopping? You download their app, their mobile app, right? So what these guys have done, they've spent multiple effort, one effort in coding mobile app, one effort in coding desktop website, and one effort in coding iOS app. So they are spending a lot of effort in doing that, but that's no more required with Fiori. Fiori, one app you code single code for all devices, all browsers, and all platform. That's the beauty of SAP Fiori. Okay, it adapts itself automatically to according to the mobile, according to the device, which we will also see it in our demo, and then you will realize that it's actually having a great advantage of that sort. Now, recently SAP also introduced concept of co-pilot integration. So it has a lot of integration. One of the integration is co-pilot integration. What is co-pilot? Those who have seen demo on Siri, anybody who have seen demo on Siri in iPhone? What is Siri in iPhone? It's like, you know, artificial intelligence. You talk to the mobile device, and mobile device, there is, it's like just a person sitting next to you. You are asking that person to do something, and that person does it. So a mobile becomes, converts into a beautiful lady, and that lady is your personal assistant. She will do the things what you want to do. So those who have not seen Siri in iPhone, at least just go and check out YouTube for some demos on Siri. You will find it, you will understand. So that's exactly the co-pilot concept in SAP is also all about, where you want to interact, you want to interactive visual design. You want to talk to your colleague. Let's say you are browsing a product and you want to check out with your colleague sitting in the warehouse, that is there any stock left of this particular product. So what do? You take a screenshot, and then you go to messenger, or you start typing an email. All that is no more required, because your colleague is also using SAP Fiori, you are also using SAP Fiori. You can simply ping him directly using Copilot. You can send a screenshot of the current screen to him, right away attach it. He would click on the screenshot and will be navigated to the product directly. That kind of capabilities are available with SAP Copilot. We will not discuss Copilot in this course, neither in the advanced course. This is an automatic implicit feature of SAP Fiori which comes along with Fiori for free. Okay, and there are also features which are also coming recently. I've seen some demos where you talk to the app, and then app does based on your voice. It synthesizes your voice, and based on that, it does all the things what you need. So that's SAP Copilot, and other integrations you have it with SAP Fiori. So what other advantages with SAP Fiori? So SAP Fiori, as you see, it runs on all devices, all platforms. It gives a great user experience. It adapts itself automatically based on devices. Okay, that's what exactly Fiori is meant for. So there is also Open UI 5 can be used to create an app and productize. So you have a great idea and you want to open your own company, you want to get started with your great idea and want to develop something, a Fiori application. So it's free. You can use OpenUI 5. It's an open source platform. There is no licensing fee you need to pay, and you can build your Fiori application on top of it. There are multiple CDN options, as we saw, local reference, or directly from Akamai CDN or Google CDN to refer the SAP UI5 framework. So very much standardized approach, MVC based development. Okay, these are all the advantages of using SAP Fiori. Clear, everyone? So this is how exactly why we use Fiori, why SAP Fiori, and it's all about user experience and guidelines. We'll see some glimpse of that in this video. We'll see how exactly you can go ahead and create our first Fiori application in this video. Let's go ahead and see this. So what I'm going to do is I will first show you the structure of our app. How will it change? So the by far we've been using SAP UI common library. One major change is with Fiori we will be using sap.m library, guys, from now onwards. Okay, now it's sap.m library. M stands for mobile. Okay, so you see the app is so responsive that even you built it for mobile, it works automatically on desktop also. Okay, that's the reason we go ahead with sap.m library, and that's the reason other libraries are slowly getting deprecated. SAP common was the major one which got deprecated by SAP, because SAP M is the way forward to build all the apps in Fiori UI user experience. So by far what we saw in our application, we had an index.html file, and this index.html file, we were actually using this index.html file, and in this we were creating view objects. Okay, so we were creating view objects, view 1, view 2, and stuff like that. That is what we were doing, and then we were placing the view in the DOM for testing. Correct. So this is our structure of a UI5 based application. Then you can see your view object is getting instantiated, and this view were inside having all the controls, all the UI controls which you want, like button, input field, table, all the controls which you wanted were all part of this view. Okay, this is what was our development scenario. So UI controls. Okay, this was our development process by far. Now, since it's a mobile app, now we are talking about, this structure would change little bit. Okay, this structure would change little bit. So what you ideally will have is, you will start with an index.html file, and now in this index.html file you will have a view. Okay, and you will not have a view directly, you will have something called a container control. Okay, I would say this is just an called you we can call it as an app container object. This is what is a big change, guys. With a conventional development approach to the Fiori development approach, you always have an app container object. It's a mobile app, so there is an app container object. This app container object includes your view. Clear, everyone? That's a big difference. So your view was directly included in the index HTML earlier, but now you have an app container object, and in this app container object you're going to add your views which you want. Okay, so all the views should be part of this app container object, and this app container object is what you will return, what you will add to DOM. So your DOM, your index HTML, body of HTML will display this app container object, and now in this you have both the views added. So your view objects will be created and will be added inside this app object, guys. So app container is a parent for all the views of your application. Okay, so what is app container? It is a parent. Okay, it is the parent for all the views of your app. Clear, guys? Is this clear to everyone? What exactly is the difference building with Fiori UX? Anybody? Is this clear to everyone? What exactly we are doing? Hope it is clear, guys. I assume no answers, which means it's clear. What is the big difference? We'll see it in the system, don't worry. So now these views, the process remains as it is. So you have then your view, and then that view will have all the controls. The another difference what you see is, the controls which you're putting are all majorly coming from SAP M library. No more use of SAP commons. So you will have SAP M library which we use to create these controls. Clear, everyone? Now one major difference also comes here. A view will always return an object. A view will always return an object of a page. Okay, a view will always return object of a page. So object of page, and a page will contain inside all the UI controls. So these UI controls, what you see, they are all directly not added. These UI controls are actually part of the page object. So you have a page object, and this page object then has all the UI controls inside. So that's a second difference which you observe in Fiori based development. Clear, everyone, this time? So what are all two differences you see? So your UI control has to be there, of course your view has to be there. Fine, you get additional two things. Point one is an app container object, and point two you get a page object. These two things you would get additionally as part of your Fiori application. Let's go to the system and now experience creating our first Fiori application, and then navigating from one page to second page. So let's achieve that. How can we achieve that? It's very, very simple. So let me just go back and show you this. So I'll do is I'll come back here, folder, and I can say my first Fiori app, and then I'll just kind of close everything and right click here and create a new view. So I'll just create a new view, and this time I'll choose XML view again, and we got to give an index HTML to get started with, guys. That's a base. So I will just cut and paste or copy and paste in XML index.html over here, and I'm going to give a namespace called Fiori to this. Whatever namespace you like you can give. So I just mentioning it as a Fiori. And now no more loading of UI comments, guys. You just need sap.m. sap.ui.layout is also fine. We need it. So we load them. That's all okay. Sap common is we are not using. And then here we just don't put anything at all. I remove everything. It's empty. There is nothing in the script to start with, and that's my first Fiori app. I right click now and I just give you a glimpse, guys, what is, how will it look like. So right now I'm just going with only index HTML. Let me execute it. Only index HTML I'm executing. You're getting just a blue crystal theme, an empty page. Did we put anything in the DOM yet? Anyone? Did we put anything in the DOM yet? We didn't put anything in the DOM, hence nothing is displayed. So let's come back, and now undo is I say var o app equals to sap new sap.m.app control. Okay, and that's my app control, guys. I'm creating, and let's put this app control in the body of HTML. So I say set, sorry, place at, and just say place it into the DOM and inside the content. Clear, guys? Is this clear to everyone? What did we do? So we just had put this thing over here. Save this. Let's come back and refresh. And you see no change. Of course, app control must be there in the DOM. So go to the DOM, look at the content, and you have got now your app object. Clear, everyone? You got in the DOM your app object. You have just created your app container object into this. What is that which we will add inside this app object? Anybody? Just now I told you what is that you will add inside this app object. Now anyone? You will add your views. Okay, you will add your views. Where will you add your views? Which aggregation you will add your views? So that is what we will go and check on SDK. So let's go back to UI5 SDK and ask UI5 SDK, tell me please, what is an aggregation for my app control? So I go back to UI5 SDK, go to API reference and search for app. And you can see here the app controller. Okay, sorry, app object, app container object. Why it's called container object? Because it is containing views. Okay, that's why it's called container object. So there's nothing like, you know, hard and fast rule. It's called container object because it's containing views. Now I don't find any aggregation here for this app control. What do I do? What do I do? I don't find any. So go to superclass, which is nav container. You see it's inheriting from container class. That's why we calling it as app container. So go there, and then you see aggregations, and you see there is something called pages aggregation, which means I should return a page out of a view, and that view is embedded inside this pages aggregation. And you can also set an initial page also. At the time of defining this, you can tell which is my initial page which will be loaded, but that's fine. Right now we'll go with the pages. So if there is only one page, that becomes automatically the initial page. So let's come back to the code, and now what I'll do is I'll just put pages, and then inside this pages we will just go ahead and put an array, because you see the cardinality of pages is multiple, 0 to n. And now you see you can add any control inside SAP UI core control, the super class, which is also a base class for the view class. Hence you can add a view inside this directly. So now let me just go ahead and add a view object inside. So I can just directly create a view object quickly over here itself and just add it. So I can say new sap.ui.view object, and then I'm just going to use this. And now inside this view object we just put the ID of the view what I want, and I say this is going to be my ID main. And then what I'll do is I'll just say view name and put the full path. Fiori is a namespace dot view dot main, and then let's also give the type of the view. So SAP UI core MVC view type XML. That's my view type. You see, I placed a view, a very simple view, one view inside the pages. So that's what we have seen in the PPT, how it let change the structure. Now let's ready to create a view. Right click here, say new, and choose something called SAP UI5 view. And then what I'll do is I just create an XML view. Namespace is Fiori and view name is main. Say next and say finish. You'd see a view folder and a controller folder got created, and watch this view now. That's the smartness of SAP Web IDE. You won't get this feature in Eclipse. SAP Web IDE automatically created a view in conjunction with Fiori interface. So you see it is actually created an app control, a pages, and a page inside. So we don't want app control because we had already put it in index HTML. We will see that even redefining this architecture a little bit more, simplifying this later point of time, but that time we will do that. And then you see pages aggregation and a page is added. We don't want this. I'll remove app control out of it. Okay, removed it. I'm just removing the app control and just adding the pages over here. Clear, guys? This is what we have done. And now let's give a title for my first view, and I say first view. And right now in the content I'm not putting anything. I just save this. So that's my first view, guys. Hope you are all clear. You see this XML view is also returning its controller name. Okay, that's the controller name which it is returning, and some libraries have been put automatically. It puts SAP M library as a default namespace for your app, for your view. Clear, everyone? This part, the XML view which was created, we removed app and pages aggregation because we had already put it in index HTML. And now that this view object gets created and will be written out. Let's go ahead and experience it. As a result, we should see beautiful mobile app being displayed on your user interface. Let's come back and refresh, and voila, how beautiful it looks. Yeah, not something great, but yes, it's a good starting point for us for our first Fiori application. You can look at a mobile view, just squeeze it a little bit, and you would see it adapts itself automatically based on a mobile screen like also. That's your SAP Fiori. That's a starting point of SAP Fiori. Will do miracle in upcoming days, building an amazing Fiori app out of it. You will see it in some time. Okay, that's your first Fiori application. How does it look like, guys? Clear, everyone? How did the aggregation is changing little bit for you? So it's always view return a page object. So many people, what they do, they simply start putting content like our previous example. They forget to put page. If you forget to put page object, you're gone. Fiori में output नहीं आएगा. Page object is must. You have to put page object, without which no output, boss. Simple. You need to follow design guideline. You need to follow the Fiori design. The design for a developer says this is how it should be structured. If you're structuring this, I will give you output the way you want. Okay. Now let's put our first control inside. Maybe I'll just put a button control. So what I'll do is I just put a button over here and just give a text property for the button, and I say click me. And then I'm just gonna also put an action called press action, and just gonna say on press. And then as usual, you can just go ahead and define this in the controller, what needs to be done. Okay, this is what you can do it. So I say on press, and I go to controller, and I'll just put here on press function curly braces, and I say alert, and I'm just going to throw a message over here, welcome to SAP Fiori. Okay, so this is what we do. Welcome to SAP Fiori to the user. Save this. Let's come back. You would see a nice little cute beautiful button on the user interface, and I click on this. Welcome to SAP Fiori. Congratulations, guys, your first hello world kind of application is ready. This is what every developer starts with. We won't end here. We will have a lot more to do. Okay, so stay tuned for the course. From the next week is all in action. Fiori is all rolling over. We will see a lot of amazing concepts of SAP Fiori, especially the concepts which you are afraid of. Today, if you're already working in a project, you see a lot of different artifacts like component.js, router, route match handler, manifest.json, test folder, unit test folder, mock server. Lot of concepts are there in the Fiori today, which you are afraid of. You are not able to understand. You are in a real-time project. You're not able to understand what's going on around you. Yeah, all that I will teach you in this course. You will be an expert on SAP Fiori applications. So stay tuned. There is a lot we have to do it. See you next week. Monday morning India time will be our next session. Please make sure the meeting link will change from Monday onwards. So stay tuned to the new link. Any questions before we close today's class? Anybody? Any questions before we close today's class? No namespace for this. We have given namespace, Swami. You can go back and check it. You can see here index HTML. There is a namespace given here called Fiori. This is how we define namespace. You can see clearly this is a namespace I'm using for view. Same thing if you go inside here, you can see namespace is being used. Controller maybe also namespace is being used. So all these concepts what you learned till today, not waste. They are all going to be reused here. Same scaffolding template. This is what we learned. Same model concept, same binding concept. All that I will show you in action. You need to be an expert by now on what we have learned. All those concepts what we saw is all being used here in SAP Fiori as well. It's built on UI5 framework. It's built on UI5 framework. Hence, all the concepts which we learned by far for UI5 are all applicable here. Now, is standard Fiori enhancement covered in current course? Answer is no. So, what is standard Fiori enhancement? Let's say SAP gave you one application like timesheet app. How do you change this application now? How do you adapt based on your custom need? How do you extend it as a Z project? Okay, just the way you extend standard SAP programs or about using body concept, right? User exit concept. You can do that with the extension option. Okay, so that's not covered in this course. We will cover that in our next advanced course. So if I'll just quickly give you an overview of what is covered. So one of the important thing, guys, is you can watch one of my YouTube video where I've clearly explained about uh, how what should be a learning map. So today you will see the problem. There are a lot of people talking a lot of things, but nobody is there to guide you the right direction. What is the right direction of learning? What is all I need to learn today to stay into the market, to gain as much as package I can, okay, by learning these new things. So that's what I'll guide you here. Go to my video playlist on YouTube and just find a video for Fiori learning map, guys. An amazing video I've created. This is the one. Go through this video at least today. If you get some time on weekend, you will understand what is the flow, what is the right flow direction to give an edge to your career. What is the right direction? So you'll start with UI5, then start with Fiori, extension concepts and stuff. Like you see I'm building it foundation, UI5 application with gateway, enhancement of standard apps, then development on S4 HANA or ABAP on HANA, then HANA cloud platform, then mobility, then using these tools web IDE or Eclipse, whatever tools you want to. So and then you have access development, then you have more advanced techniques like access advanced, where you have all these concepts which are gaining a lot of popularity, which are cloud concepts. You must have heard about Google Kubernetes. This is what today, as of now, I'm working with many companies. Google Kubernetes, containers, Dockers, um, there are microservices, all these things currently what I am working with. This is what SAP is also slowly moving towards. Of course they are also moving ABAP into the cloud. Okay, they're also moving slowly ABAP into the cloud. So cloud is the future. Cloud is where we use, and all these concepts, the Fiori is hot in the cloud. If you want to build a user interface in cloud, Fiori is the technology. Any application which you see today in SAP are all getting transformed to SAP Fiori user experience. So you are right now very much on right track. This is your learning curve, how it should be, guys. At least if you're an ABAPer already in a company, I would strongly recommend these three courses of mine, which you must take it. If you are an ABAPer today in a company, you must take it, these three courses, to give an edge, end-to-end completion to your career. So first one starts with the one which you are currently taking. That's a right start. Many people directly start with the second one, and then they have to come back and take first one because they miss out major concepts. Okay, so first start with the first one, this one, and then slowly move to this one. After completing first one, here you learn Fiori security. That's like more like a basis work. Okay, or even a developer work where you have to extend a standard app, and then move to S4 HANA, app on HANA, where you learn new concepts like CDS views, Fiori elements, KPI tiles, analytical apps, creating Fiori element based apps, AMDP, ABAP managed data procedure, code to data paradigm, new concepts in ABAP, new syntax in ABAP. You might have seen new syntax in ABAP, HANA modeling, HANA database basics, HANA evolution, NetWeaver evolution, performance tools, code inspector checks. Then we have proxy objects, lifecycle management of HANA artifacts. And then you have UI annotations, different annotations in CDS views, consuming the CDS views in analytical tools, S4HANA embedded analytics, BOPF integration with CDS. All that is covered in this package. Unbelievable price with this much content. I open challenge anyone, if anybody is giving this course content to you online today at this date in this particular price tag. Impossible. In fact, the trainers from Hyderabad, they are just doing copy paste. They are not at all teaching things. Okay, they're just doing copy paste. Believe me, if you're grabbed into Hyderabadi's hand, I cannot do anything. It's all your loss. Many people coming in my ABAP on HANA training currently, they are saying, Anubhav, we have paid to this institute, that institute, they charge us 25,000, 30,000, $600, $800, and we wasted our money. They are not teaching. There is a very famous institute, Surya HANA Academy. You just Google, you will find that them one first, because they are teaching S4 HANA on, and on the name of S4 HANA, they are teaching HANA. If you enroll their course, they will just teach you HANA. And HANA may be deep में जाएंगे नहीं. SQL script nobody will teach you. Nobody will teach SQL script. Nobody will teach. Even the situation is so pathetic that these guys don't even know difference between referential join and inner join, and they are so called themselves as an expert in HANA. This is the reality of Hyderabadi trainers. No grudges to any Hyderabad person in the room, but believe me, guys, this is what they're doing, and I'm just trying to increase India's reputation once again back on track, day and night only. This is the ambition. This is the goal I'm working with, to somehow increase back or gain back the reputation of India, which these people have spoiled over years. When I meet foreigners, when I meet people outside India, they say India known for cheap training, Hyderabad trainings, Amirpet trainings, cheap training. This is what their impression is. People don't respect us because we are, very jugadu. Okay, how do an Indian can be recognized? Okay, this is funny actually. So Indian is a person uh, who takes out shampoo. Even after the shampoo is over, he puts in water into the shampoo, move shake it over, and then takes out the last drop of the shampoo out of it. Indian is a guy who's, if the toothpaste is completed, then he will use a balan, and using that balan he will press and take out the last bit of the toothpaste out. And when he throws in the dustbin, the wife goes, takes out the toothpaste from out of dustbin and cut the toothpaste from the backside, and then also takes out the toothpaste out of it. This is what we are so good at. But believe me, guys, the training is not like that. If you go with such cheap training, then definitely you're spoiling. And please join my mission of increasing back or gaining back the India's reputation in the world market of training. Don't buy any Hyderabadi trainers. Okay, don't buy any of training from Hyderabadi Institute, Hyderabadi trainers. This is all bad, guys. I'm just urging all of you. This is what I am seeing it. People are somehow getting trapped into their hands, and they are spoiling you. Okay, they are spoiling our reputation. So don't do it. Take a pledge with me. Don't buy any Hyderabadi trainings anymore. Stop doing that, because there's no value out of it. It's better to watch SAP HANA Academy videos, open SAP videos. There are a lot of good tutorials on YouTube. about a lot of different things, but no Hyderabadis anymore, guys. Stop doing that. If you do that, then you are there with me in my mission to go ahead with in future. Okay, moving to questions. I just started with UI5 classes. Missed classes, can I attend next batch for UI5? Fine, no problem. Just drop me an email. I will stop your access for the current batch and you can join the next batch when the next batch starts. Don't we have to drag and drop controls in web IDE tool? Yes, we have a possibility to do that, but I will teach you coding technique, because the drag and drop option, which is called editor, layout editor, it has some limitations. So maybe I'll quickly show you. You have your XML view in Fiori, right click on that and say open with layout editor, and you would see a nice graphical layout editor to create your user interface. So rather than now making use of coding, you can drag and drop the controls quite nicely. You can just go to list, and maybe I can quickly drag and drop a list control. You can see a list control is created, and then I can decide what type of list item I want. So I want maybe a display list item to be added, and you can see this item has been added quickly. And then you can just click on your control, you can come down, you can change the labels here, you can say press here. Yeah, so the label have changed. So this is the kind of interface SAP have also given to nicely and quickly go ahead and edit your view quite easily. But believe me, it has some limitations. Sometimes you will feel like lack of some functionalities over here, and that's the reason we would right now not go ahead. We will take the tough path, we will take the difficult path. I will not take the easy path at the moment. Okay, this is something which you can quickly use it. It's not that difficult to use, but I would take the tough path. I would rather showcasing this one, which is an easy way of building user interface. I'll take the tough path. Right click, open with the XML code editor. This is the path which we will be taking, guys, not the one which I showed you just now. That one I will take an exclusive session where I will show you how to use the layout editor. In fact, there's no rocket science in using it. You can just drag and drop your controls quite easily and quickly create the user interface the way you want. But before that, if you understand this, then nobody can challenge you. You can actually do that layout editor quite easily without much of effort. You need to understand this. This is more important. This is what is used today in real world. Okay, so we'll not use layout editor, graphical editor. We'll use XML code editor. That's a better flexibility option for us to choose from. The workspace directories where I will store all the files like index.html, it's all with web IDE folder. So I'll quickly show you where I've installed my web IDE folder in my computer. I've done it in my D drive. So let me just go into my computer. I go to D drive and I have a folder where I've installed my web IDE. Go to Eclipse, and then you see server workspace, and in this you see my first initial names, and that's my user ID Anubhav. And now you see Orient content. These are all your projects. So today we created a project called Fiori app. You can find that over here in your web IDE. So I think you missed some session Vara initially. So those sessions you need to go back and look at them. Then you will get a fair idea about how to get started with SAP web IDE installation. All that is covered in our previous classes. So those sessions you have missed it. So just go back and look at the videos if you want to continue, or I will stop your video access. Just drop me an email and I will take you into the live batch, which is starting April mid. So I just take this archive and then make a zip of it, and then I will upload this into our training blog. Yes, please.
Okay.
So this is how I
So,
take it and upload it.
so for us, we need to install on a local laptop, or you're going to give the
Yes, local
access?
computer. It's already covered in
A
our
local.
yeah. So you can go to our training blog. I've given access to this training blog, and here you will find set up your web IDE video. You see this one? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And guys, many times I get complaints from many of you that blog is not working, video not loading. Sometimes people are using different browser. Use Chrome browser, point two, and if it is still not load, just refresh your browser cache. It would work. Option number three is wait for some time, let the page load, because there are a lot of videos. It would take some time to buffer these videos, and then you can start watching these videos one by one in the order is important. If you skip over some things, acha main to expert hu HTML5 mein, main kya seekhunga, then there is a problem. You would miss out some or the other thing which is important. which is with respect to UI5, it's important. So hence I would highly request you to follow the flow. Don't jump over directly. अच्छा Fiori आ गया, वाह, चलो Fiori पढ़ते हैं. डायरेक्ट Fiori पे जंप कर जाते हैं, कुछ नहीं समझ में आता है, झक मार के मेरे पास आते हैं, अनाप शनाप उंट शुंट डाउट पूछते हैं, और फिर अनुभव आंसर नहीं करेगा. You got to flow, you got to follow the flow guys, you got to follow the flow, very important. Without, ask the experience of these people who are there in the room, who are there from the class number 1. Do you think guys what we learned by far was useless, was of no use? What we have learned by far, was, did that improve your understanding or not? You see the answer, everybody is saying it was not so useless, it was important, it was all being used by far. And we will see the use of that. So everything, even the JSON model which you have learned, scaffolding which you have learned, all that will be used in Fiori. You will see it in upcoming days. It is all will be, like kind of starter things which you, yes, you're right, it was like a starter kit to make you ramp up. And then now you will shoot up, you're ready on the launch pad, your rocket is ready to launch, everything is done, just counting needs to start and you will fly. So that's what we will be doing now. We will slowly getting into Fiori, and then you will see everything will get connected, everything will get connected, all the JSON model concept, resource model concept, everything will come over. Okay, so let's go ahead and meet you on Monday, and then we will see guys, creating this Fiori. By the time, of course, I was unable to produce a fruitful outcome of the exercise today. The binding somehow was, seems to be working in the code, in the debugging it was showing me the changed path, but on the UI it was not reflecting. It could be probably because of binding mode or some of the other property. Of course I will definitely work on it offline. Weekend aa gaya hai, so I will get some probably more time, and then I will post a solution for that exercise with you. My email address, you can drop me an email. I'll just quickly provide you my email address so everybody knows about it. Maybe just quickly note down here. It's anubhav.abap at googlemail.com. You can use Gmail also, you can use Google Mail also. So anything is fine, whichever you like. That's my email address. Okay. So take a screenshot of this if you want. You would be remembering this. So with that, it's a wrap on today's class. See you on Monday morning India time. Have a nice day and goodbye.